Time for another arbitrary classy trapsmith video. Let's go. Alright.
The Nazis managed to get their hands on one of our top secret bouncing bombs. By the time I'm done here,
Let Harry finish his
they hadn't.
spiel.
Gotta make sure anything they've learned about it never makes it back to Berlin. The scientists brought in to study the bomb. London reckons they know a thing or two about what's going on at Site D. Could kill two birds. That research camp should be just up ahead. Need to take a look and see what their eggheads have found.
Great. Our list is far enough away not to disturb anyone. Okay.
Sidearm. A speedy solution for...
Now I can get into the classy trap stuff. Back here is hugely unnecessary. And one really shouldn't be considering to be even thinking about putting a trap anywhere back there.
Well, look at that.
Forgot that there's subsonic ammo there. There is an argument to leaving a trap here, or in this pile of rubble. Although there is a Jaeger spawn point that's like right there, so that is a bit cheap. Alternatively, a classy spot, I think, for a trap includes right here.
Over there.
Or, well, basically anywhere between these 2 points. Largely because it takes advantage of this barrel right here. And there's an argument to leaving a trap up here. Either on the stairs or up here. Directly. Entirely because this is a very powerful vantage point. You being able to shoot through this gap, especially directly at that phone, right there, makes it a very dangerous. Let me just quickly clear out some bodies. Come on. Alright. You.
Kosher.
Darn it. Okay. So there's also an argument to leaving a trap here. Or around here. Although I think of it a less than optimal position. There's another dude around here somewhere. Maybe. Oh, okay, this guy's not hunting. Oh, no. Now, if you started at the original starting point, I can understand the reasoning behind leaving traps, like a couple of traps up along this area here. And I would consider a trap over by this generator to be somewhat classy. Although the further you have to go down this hill, the less classy I would argue it to be. Let me clear out that. Now, another classy spot for a trap is either up here.
Over there. I'm a sitting duck right here.
Or the often more popular I prefer down here. Largely because it's much harder to defuse at the bottom of the stairs than it is at the top of the stairs. Although it is classier to have it up at the top of the stairs. This general area is a common flank that people will take. Leaving traps down on this area or in here, I would argue is not classy, as going down there is largely unnecessary. And thus trapping down there excessive. Now, if you can get a trap next to this, I think that's relatively classy, and same with any trap over by this generator. If I were to put like a teller mine on this. And then leave a shoe mine. And I think that leaving a teller mine over by this barrel is also decently classy. Because it can trigger this barrel. Although, the amount of traps that I've just set here is already excessive, as it is. Because I already have three traps on this bridge. I'm going to defuse a couple of them. But leave that one, as it is somewhat hidden by the natural architecture here. Didn't know the hooks come down all this far. I almost grab onto that. Jeez.
I can't see anything worth grabbing.
Another spot that I find to be generally classy is in here.
You seeing what I'm seeing?
Or somewhere on these stairs, such as in this bush or top.
See that?
Between there and there. Down there is also arguably a good spot. Although, in this grass is suspicious. A trap at the bottom of these stairs I think would be classy, but anywhere up on the stairs, very much less so. In here, I don't think that you should leave traps anywhere inside of here if you're not the Jaeger. As any traps inside of the, like, in here area is excessive or too obvious. Not classy. However, a trap over by these barrels I think is classy. Trap up at the top of this ladder, while a bit cheeky, I would consider it to be classy if you had it by this ladder, because there is another way up here. Actually, there's two other ways up here. Now, my favorite traps up here is to leave one under this, under here.
Found a trap we can use.
Same with over here. Largely because these traps, for whatever reason, end up being, slightly blocked by the ground. So they don't do very much damage, but if you have a TNT next to them, that hurt. It can significantly hurt. But the one reason why I think it is classy to have them up here is because this is a significant vantage point that... Oh. They're about to... Yeah.
Tough bastard, this one.
Oh. And that's why that trap is so effective. Probably don't need to be as stealthy as I have been. Okay, we got Epic Gaming. 40, okay. Okay. One of the reasons why I don't mind the traps on the roof up here is because it is a very significant vantage point. But also, over-trapping up here is excessive. I'm gonna leave a couple of traps up here, just to hopefully catch a Jaeger off guard if they choose to use it up here as... Oh, look at that. Some form of vantage point. Although another devious spot that I would consider is right there. Because it's under the stairs instead of on the stairs. For some reason it does this with some of these graded stairs. Interesting. Now, spots that I do not consider to be classy spots for traps is anywhere in this grass. Or anywhere in this grass.
Look at that. Stay sharp, Hawker. Whole
In
place
fact,
is
it
going to be crawling with
greatly annoys me when someone places a trap in there.
Repariert Horst. Horst repariert ja alles. Roll weiter den Stein den Hügel rauf, sonst können wir nicht.
Now, you can make an argument to leaving a trap in here. I think a somewhat classy thing. If you're going for a more meme then, and you expect to, like, circle back to here, is to place a plant, the charge, and then leave, like, a trap near this. Which is not what I'll be doing today. Here and... actually, all three of these staircases are places where you can, for whatever reason, put the traps underneath them. While possible. Not particularly classy. As I said, anywhere in this grass is not a classy spot for traps.
Job done. It'll take
And
a
leaving
while
him
to
in
work
there
that
is
spanner out of the works.
absolutely murder map behavior. Sometimes it's just faster to put the gun down. And pick it back up. Leaving a trap in here or up here is excessive. Even back here, it's excessive. So this is largely a flank route. Yes, it's a often used flank route, but generally I think leaving traps anywhere in the grassy areas of this map is largely not classy. Grabbing
Okay, this'll help.
crowbar. Okay, I want to make sure I hit both of them.
Was?
Okay. Not really been paying attention to where the Jaeger is. Ah, there. Basically in the bridge. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to... leave a mine at the base of the stairs. Two. Because eventually the scientist will walk up there. Let me just get rid of this Jaeger real quick. Yeah, they didn't appreciate that. Wonder why. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to replace these traps. Leaving a trap in here, unclassy.
Seeing what I'm seeing.
Although I do think it reasonable to leave a trap, like, up inside of the... inside of this building. If you came here before you did, like, the objective on this side of the map. Okay. I'll wait for him to... Okay. There's an argument to leaving a trap between here or over by that barrel, although I wouldn't recommend it.
See that? Explosives, that is. I've overstayed my welcome. Better get out of here.
Okay. Make kill the last objective here.
Sidearm. Quick, easy, and always reliable.
Because we're gonna get breeze right through this. I think leaving a trap anywhere in here is largely unnecessary. If you're spreading around traps, I suppose one in this building is absolute maximum. If you plan on doing the... if you started up at the... there, leaving a trap in this building pretty much anywhere is only really reasonable if no, that's all the objectives done. Yeah, leaving a trap in this building is only really reasonable if you were gonna do that, like, objective over there. After you did the objective over here. Otherwise, it's murder map behavior. In fact, with this map, there's very few places that I would consider to be very classy. Like, truly classy, because anywhere that I've basically said is a classy spot, that would basically have to be one of, like, very few traps that you have placed on the map whatsoever. Which then leads me to the... in terms of this whole part of the map. There's an argument to leaving a trap inside of this building there. And I'd say that's reasonable if you started all the way over here.
Over there.
Or technically the original starting point, which brings you up through here. In which case you might leave a trap back there. But even then, of that whole side of the map, I would argue that the only really classy spot to have a trap would be
There
within
they are.
this building.
See that?
And even if you did start on this side of the map and came down here first, I suppose leaving a trap
Okay.
there would be classy. Assuming that you were deciding to make your way to that side of the map after destroying this tank for some reason.
You seeing what I'm seeing?
Kill that guy. And while you could make an argument to, like, leaving a trap here, I would consider that to be very much trap map behavior, because by the time that you get to this point, you are usually just barely about to finish the map. Because if you got to this point far enough to start setting traps up in here, you're probably close enough to the being able to finish the level. And in fact, you can finish the level from here, as long as you already completed this objective up there, and this objective. And I guess have grabbed that, then over there. Of course, I'm not going to get attacked by any Jaegers right now, because I already completed all the objectives. Right now, I'm just going through speculation here. And as I said, in terms of where traps are reasonable on this side of the map, over by that generator, and maybe on one of, like, those staircases back there, are okay if that's one of the few traps that you have, because this is a very easy map to overtrap. Frankly, it's almost excessive with what I would consider myself even a bit excessive here with the two traps that I had at the start of the map, and then the traps that I had on top of the thing. Up there. However, the reasoning behind my traps and why they're classy is because my traps up there
Look at that.
are deliberately placed to protect the one of two potential choke points. Basically, if a Jaeger starts on that side of the map, they will have to either pass through that way or come down here. Because my natural path is going from in a circle around in this way, I would prefer that the Jaeger approaches me from the direction that I am traveling than from behind. Hence, the trap is behind me. And that's why I think that's reasonable up there. And that's why I think it's reasonable to leave this up there, because that provides such a vantage point over the majority of down here, that knowing if they're up there is very important. With that, you could make the argument that leaving traps at, like, the back entrance or near the back of up there
Over there.
could be classy, although if I would say that you either trap down below or you trap up above, not both, because both is excessive. Unless you didn't trap anywhere else on the map. Like, if I didn't put traps over by the front there, I would consider, like, trapping up the hole up there to be fine, as long as I'm also not camping up there. Traps become way less classy if you are camping in the area in which you have trapped. Now, with that, that brings this video to about 30 minutes, so I think that's good enough for this level. This is a very quick level to do anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this totally arbitrary assessment of what traps are classy and which ones are not on this map. I hope I made my argument clear, but it was probably not because it's completely arbitrary. And with that, thank you for watching. Bye.